speech, How Bad Can I Be? And overall, I really enjoyed the speech. It's a topic that I'm interested in, just thinking positively and how to deal with negative thoughts, things like that in general. And I already kind of read the objectives for this speech, but it's basically the idea is to focus on making sure that you're using words correctly, that you're avoiding jargon, you're incorporating rhetorical devices, things like that into the speech. It's really about how you say it. And because of that, I actually didn't look at, I tried hard not to look at you. I actually just focused on listening so that I could hear just what you were saying, because that's the purpose for the speech. That, I hate to admit that, that happens to be one of my weaknesses. I may not be the best person to evaluate your particular speech, but I tried really hard to focus and listen to everything that you said. So, with that, I thought, again, that you did a great job, but the topic that you picked, particularly, that he picked for the speech, I thought was actually more of a challenging topic to focus on for how to say it, because he was talking about really abstract ideas. He was talking about subjective thoughts that we all have. And so that's one of, I think, maybe the more difficult topics you could pick. However, it's a great challenge to try and practice that. So that was just something to keep in mind, I guess, as you listen to the evaluation. And so I thought, again, that you did a good job following the objectives, meeting the objectives for the speech overall. And I wrote down just some of them that I picked out in terms of the rhetorical devices. You did a good job with I picked out a lot of different metaphors, so he used things like light at the end of the tunnel, a positive thinking machine, talking about kind of the meaning of life, using things like saying down in the dumps, kind of simple but powerful phrases. So overall, that objective was clearly met with the speech. And also I caught some triads in there, or groupings, like presenting words and clusters, things like that, to make it memorable for the audience. And you also used the word of the day right off the bat, so I caught that too, so that was great. And good use of examples throughout, but again, it was a very abstract topic, so it was maybe a more difficult one to tackle. So the one things I wrote down that could be done to improve the speech, I did notice some general grammar, so just watch for general grammar. And then also, there's a rhetorical device that's not listed in here that would have been useful for the speech. Since the concept of the speech was positives and negatives, I think that using a contrasting approach would have really helped the listener follow the speech better. So when you're talking about a positive life, or these are some things you could do well, you can contrast that with things that are challenging, and that makes it really clear for the listener what's happening, kind of what's focusing. So that was just one idea. And then the other thing is to start off with a really clear, I don't know, almost thesis to start with, to make it obvious, because since you're using you as an example, I at least got a little confused, because we're talking about like what we were thinking, and then me being, you being up here. So if you starting out with like a really clear statement of the purpose of the speech, and then going into the examples, since you are the example, it would be clear. So, but great job with a potentially very difficult topic. So, yeah.